Hi guys, we're gonna wait for our people in Dubai to join us soon. Panda, can you hear me okay?
Yep, Trey, you are loud and clear.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome everyone. Give it a few minutes here. I see the Wens have started. That's always a great sign. Hello, Zohan. How are things going? Apologies for the slight delay, guys. We have people at an event IRL right now in Dubai at the Founders Villa. Uh, I'm in East Denver right now, so I'm doing this from my hotel room. The team is on the go doing some IRL activation, making some good connections, and yeah, really getting Flash out there as much as we can.
Hey, Tregs. We can get started.
Nice to have. Great to hear you. Great to hear from you. I see Knowles is already showing his ref link in the chat. Love to see that. But let's get started. First of all, welcome everyone. I think this is our third or fourth community call. I don't know. Well, I guess if you count the ones like a year ago or so. But yeah, welcome. We've grown our nice community here. And let's first go through some stats. So here's some more updated stats, although I believe this volume numbers hasn't incorporated yesterday's all-time high volume day that we had. But yeah, $330 million in total trading volume, 410,000 in real yield given out to LPs and beast holders, as beast holders are LPs on our platform in USDC. Over 1,000 beasts have leveled up from their level 1. So that's really cool. Oh, is my screen not sharing? Oh, my mistake, guys. Let me put that up. All right, now we should be good. All right, confirmed good. Sorry, guys. So yeah, the stats. Was just going through these, but yeah, over 1,000 beasts have leveled up, which is pretty cool. Really happy to see people engaging with the gamification that we've added, and really getting to understand that hey, leveling up your beast is probably a good idea as time goes on and this market continues to evolve. And finally, over 42,000 trades have been executed on Flash, and that's such an awesome number. People have been, sharing to us and sharing to the world about the great experiences that they've been having. as well as the differences in that experience compared to other options on chain, and even like on a day like yesterday, even some major exchanges having issues, but Flash was there, still able to close some trades. We did hit some of our volatility limits, so that kind of like made it so that traders couldn't necessarily open a position all the time, but I think they lasted for a couple minutes at most. And as always, on a pool to peer model, you were able to close your position because you have that guaranteed liquidity. I would like to highlight, of course, our top beasts. Before we highlighted the level 6s, level 5s, and level 4s. Unfortunately, fortunately, I guess there's a lot of level 5s and level 4s right now. So we're going to highlight our 7 level 6 beasts. So yeah, really cool that 7 people have kind of reached the top level, have maxed out, and I think one of these was actually even traded. Unfortunately for the public, or maybe good for you guys that are leveling up your beasts and trying to get to there, none of these beasts are currently for sale. You can't even buy them. So these beasts are effectively right now they are priceless. I believe they're probably being put to good use by some top traders or people that are trying to refer others. Because again, that's the whole point of the beast. They are exchange VIP accounts that are transferable, and they will kind of carry that value with them in perpetuity on Flash. We'll move on to the next slide now. This is kind of some of the things that we've been working on. It's been a lot, and there's probably even more than this that I've missed out on. But number one here is going to be risk refinement. As you know, like on Flash, we always seek to balance the LP yields and LP protection, but make sure that the trader experience is always top notch. So this has been done with continue our close partnership with Pyth and really helping them improve their product, but at the same time, making sure that Flash as a platform has as much data as possible in order to provide, that no slippage trading that everyone's come accustomed to, but at the same time not allow any, malicious trades, I would say, or highly profitable trading strategies to be executed onto our pools. So this has been, I think we talked to the Pyth team about daily at this point, I believe. And they've been responsive, and we couldn't thank them enough for providing the service that they do. And yeah, as time goes on, things are going to keep improving on their end, and that'll allow us to keep improving the trader experience as well as still protecting LPs. Another thing we worked on was asset-specific open interest caps on top of our single pool structure, and this is fairly new. For a protocol like ours. In the past, usually people will have like asset-specific open interest caps, but they wouldn't be on a single pool structure. It would be on every single asset would have its own pool. And while this may seem appealing from a customization perspective, we believe that each pool should be its own product. And pools are much easier to sell when they're packaged. They're a packaged product that is going to appeal to a different kind of investor on every level. So pool 1 is our crypto product, is the crypto general exposure. You have your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana on there. Pool 2 is the counterparty to all trades really that don't live natively on a chain. So that's our Forex and metals right now. Perhaps somewhere in the future, or actually definitely somewhere in the future. And of course, if we look down a little further there, we'll see pool 3, but I'll touch upon that later on. In addition to this, we are working on some pretty cool features that would, again, like further the trader experience, but make LPs more efficient with their capital. And some of these things are kind of like dynamic funding rates based on long and short skews, dynamic pool asset lockups, depending on the asset you're trading, the average take profit and stop loss that people are using. Most people are trading very, very quickly on Flash, which we love to see because that's kind of the experience that Flash gives and kind of encourages, right? Is this no slippage trading, that constant being in that action, and it's super easy to use. Like you don't really have to think if you're going away and scalping on Flash. And so for the most part, like locking up the entirety of a lot of the pool for a single trade is oftentimes not needed. So there's some cool things that we can do there while still making sure that trades have that guaranteed liquidity at close. The last thing we're working on is asset-specific margin fees. And this will relate to essentially if a certain asset is being used up on the short side, all like these significant amounts, all the way to its or open interest cap. We'll make sure that's incentivized properly by making sure that LPs are making a significant yield when that occurs. This kind of will allow for, again, greater LP efficiency and making sure that LPs are never going to be exposed to any single asset, to the price action of any single asset in an exacerbated way, which, a lot of these things can kind of, it is so easy to overlook these small things, but all of it's very important because while, things are okay 99% of the time, all it takes is that one small overlook, that 1% of the time, to all of a sudden means that either your traders had a terrible experience or your LPs lost a ton of money. Don't want to point fingers, but I'm sure we saw during some protocols yesterday on different chains and even on Solana kind of experienced these like pretty drastic wicks that, I would say was fairly unfair to traders. And, we never want that to happen on Flash. The second thing we've been obviously working on is improving Flash. This things include things like the mark price responsiveness. This was a feedback that I received from traders where the mark price just wasn't responding as fast, and this kind of limited it just didn't make the trading feel as the Flash experience or as fast as it could be. And it's not like we were limited on the contract end. It was merely all just like UI. The contracts are super fast, and yeah, it was just a matter of addressing it on the UI side. In addition to this, we incorporated dynamic priority fees. So I don't think we've even had maybe one or two users max saying like, oh, why didn't my transaction go through ever since we incorporated this? These transactions now with dynamic priority fees, a brand new user can hop on and they're going to have their transactions land. Or land most of the time, obviously. Yeah.
And Flex, maybe it's worth adding a point or two over there is that we as an exchange, we've prioritized quality of service over everything else, and that's the reason we were able to serve yesterday. Even though we had instances where due to high volatility flags, which I've spoken of, people were not able to take new positions. But for existing positions, stop losses, take profits, and even closing existing positions work flawlessly. And we're working with Pith to make sure we can isolate those scenarios. So I can iron out such discrepancies and kind of better the trading experience. And there goes a lot of things under the hood to make these things possible. Pull oracles from Pith are going to be a game changer on that. So dynamic priority fee kind of makes the experience a lot better, but there are a lot more things which can be improved, which we're constantly working on. So risk refinement and also kind of improving Flash both go hand in hand, and we need to kind of prioritize things which meticulously scrutinizing over the course of a couple of months that we've been live, and really appreciate all sorts of feedback, all sorts of people kind of coming in and dropping concerns, opening tickets, facing issues, and all of these things kind of contribute to improvements that we will see all along moving forwards.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm a bit more on the design side of things when it comes to risk management. Our tech team, which still have leads up, they're just absolutely monsters at what they do, and every single week over week you can feel Flash improving. We'll do a better job at kind of telling you exactly what's been improving week over week, but for the most part, for those of you who have been since the beginning, I'm sure you've noticed that things are just that much more responsive, or my transactions are landing much more often. Everything's just a little bit faster, a little bit nicer to use, and yeah, we'll obviously continue that improvement process. As Zohaib was saying, this optimizations doesn't stop at the UI side, doesn't stop at the contract side. It goes all the way to our bots, which keep our LPs safe, and as well as traders safe on the liquidation and the stop loss and take profit side. And we are continuing those optimizations to make sure that Flash is ready to scale for the future. So when we do, 10x, 100x our amount of traders on our platform, those things are still going to work just fine. And we kind of saw that yesterday, where the stop loss and take profit things we're still working, even very volatile market conditions. Even when Pith was having issues pushing prices on the mainnet feed, our backup Oracle really came in clutch there to close out some positions. So yeah, we're very happy to be to have the platform stress tested and make sure that our quality of service stays so high. We've also improved our trading P&L cards to include NFT specific referral codes. This is something pretty cool where like now when you share this stuff on Twitter and someone accesses Flash from your code or even sees your Beast number on there, they're going to be underneath your referral, which always good. And lastly, we had some data leaks on the mobile UI because I think maybe Zoheb can shed a little bit more light on this. But essentially, it was using up a lot more data than it probably should have, and that has been patched. And now, using Flash on a mobile wallet is, perfectly reasonable, and you're not burning through gigabytes of data.
And and worth adding that there are a lot of issues with Oracle or kind of in-app browsers that wallets employ, and the way we have to use oracles from PID and NFTs from the DAS APIs. So we did a lot of analysis and a lot of improvements there. Some oversights from our side, some from wallet providers, and the way that the whole thing is structured. So in a way, we are a protocol which kind of cover both ends from DeFi to NFTs. We work with the bleeding edge on the DeFi side with oracles. We work with indexing NFTs and even evolving NFTs on that matter. So it kind of ended up kind of breaking a lot of things which others might not encounter. So it was a thrilling experience, kind of ironing those out. And apologies to everyone who might have kind of lost a lot of data, especially if you're on mobile networks and mobile data. And now, moving forward, that shouldn't be the case. Even though we are adding more markets, we've seen an uptick in performance and efficiency with respect to data usage and memory usage. So yeah, just expect things to get a lot smoother, a lot better, a lot more efficient moving forward.
Yeah, and if you ran over your data plan, send Anas a DM. I hear he's providing refunds. So yeah, make sure to just bother him about it. Even more things. Anyways, lastly, in our big announcement that we've been hinting at is Pool 3. And this pool, I believe, do we have the announcement out already, guys? I'm sure I can see my...
Yeah.
Rock shit, is it out already? Oh, yes, it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Wonderful. Well, it is live as we speak right now. And this is our Jito, Pyth, and Jupiter pool, bringing asset-backed trading to these three assets. This is the balanced Solana beta pool. These we believe that these are some of the best kind of products in the space. And I would say if you're talking about assets on Solana, tokens on Solana that people want exposure to, already have a lot of exposure to, it is usually these are the top three. The rules for these are going to be a little bit different. These are obviously a lot more volatile than Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, and so for that reason, we're going to have to dial back the leverage initially to up to 20x, and then up to a 100x maximum maintenance margin. We'll have slightly higher open close fees to start. Again, like we're always very conservative with any new product that we release, and so that's reflected in the open close fees and as well as the higher margin fees. That'll be based on utilization. So again, it works very similar to Pool 1, but everything's just a little bit more because due to the volatility of these assets, you're going to need a little bit of higher fees to make sure LPs still make some money. That said, even with this fee structure, when you look at your other options of trading these assets on leverage, the funding rates go absolutely bananas. The spreads on perps can be 30 basis points wide, 40 basis points wide. So we believe that even with these slightly elevated fees relative to Pool 1, this is still the best trading experience for trading these assets. On even comparing to some centralized exchanges at this point, no slippage is pretty unheard of when it comes to these higher volatility assets. Nevertheless, it's possible it's possible in Solana. It's possible because of Pool to Pure model, and it's possible because of the analysis that we've done. The balance of these assets in the pool are going to be 24% Jito, 18% Pyth, 18% Jupiter, and 40% USDC. So again, we kind of decided on this balance being that while Pool 1 is supposed to be a bit more of a conservative product and one that just kind of generates yield over time, this one I think is going to be, we really wanted to appeal to people that already hold these tokens on Solana. And so I think, they're already used to having a little bit higher exposure to all these assets. Hence, there's only 40% of USDC in this pool versus, the 45 in Pool 1. And finally, this is pioneering the pool to peer model on longer tail assets on Solana. And, if this goes well, and which we truly believe it will, now the idea of bringing this model to even longer tail assets than these becomes, a thought, becomes possible. And, we really believe that the pool to peer model is just such a crypto native idea and how trading should be done, because it ensures, you get people the leverage that they want. And there's a lot of LPs that hold these tokens anyways that are kind of always looking to find a home for them. The way we kind of done this, it took a lot of extensive volatility analysis on every single one of these tokens, especially since one of these tokens on here has been around for just a month. And so it's a very interesting problem on how to decide, what is considered high volatility for a token that's only been around a month, and how do we kind of address the risks that come with such a new asset class. When it comes to our pool, when it comes to allowing what kind of trading happens, and as well as when we decide that how much volatility is too much volatility. Again, as always, Splash just kind of does all these things in order to ensure the top trading experience while protecting the LPs. And again, shout out to our technical team, because this was, adding this whole new asset class, initializing a brand new pool with brand new parameters all from top to bottom. So, they're doing an awesome job, and I'm really happy to finally see this live, and really happy for people to try it out. All right, next up, I see people are already playing around with Pool 3, so we'll keep an eye on that. But next up is the IRL activation that we've been doing. I believe so on the left here we have the Founders Villa that's happening in Dubai. I believe Anas and Zoheb have been going fairly often, and we actually hosted a DeFi night the other night. So maybe Zoheb, you want to talk a little bit about that? Maybe some good stories that came from your time there. Zoheb.
Hey, Triggs. Sorry, pardon. I just missed that.
No worries. Yeah, I was just telling we've been doing some IRL activation efforts from the team. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about what Anas has been experiencing, what you've been experiencing at the Founders Villa, how the DeFi night went.
That's the thing. I'm on my way there. I'm not yet at the villa. Been on the desk, making sure things go smooth. So I'm here to head over the place, but I'm sure they're having a blast. It's the Super Deems Founders Villa, co-hosted with Nas Daily, and the folks are kind of hosting Solana or crypto native founders for a week's time. They get to experience a community of other builders in the space, people who are founding projects together in the NFT, DeFi, and RWA space on blockchains. And today's night was a mixer, which was sponsored by Flash Trade as the DeFi night, where we educate people about all things DeFi, X, NFTs, bringing them together and educating normal retail users on the pros of using DEXs or centralized exchanges, parties with a formal agenda, and kind of getting the IRL activation stride, and a lot of traders in Dubai. That's what we are looking to tap into, and yeah, I'll be heading over there in a bit, just making sure everything works as intended.
Yeah, I know. Zoheb again. He's been helping out push this through, and yeah, we're really excited for it to finally be here. Enjoy some time and enjoy your time in the Founders Villa. say hi to Anas, say hi to everyone there. I think one of our community members, Glasu, our Beast of the Week actually is in person over there as well. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about my experience. I've been at Mount Dow for about 2 weeks now, or well, I recently just came over to Denver. But yeah, that experience was pretty incredible. Mount Dow, for those who do not know, is a very curated kind of space where people work in the same co-working space for an entire month and are able to socialize, go out to dinners, maybe go out later on in the night. It's in Salt Lake City, which has some of the best skiing and snow sports in the world. You can kind of see there a picture from the time we went snowmobiling in these like absolutely gorgeous mountains with this perfectly powdery snow. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. Made a lot of connections with the top DeFi teams on Solana, essentially. People from Margin Fi, Drift, and more. I mean, I've met so many people, exchanged so many contacts, and it's wild. And of course, if people have been looking at my feed, you also know that I had a night with Ansem, which he has a reputation, and I will say that he lives up to the reputation and then some. But it was pretty incredible. It was cool to kind of see it in person. And well, it was more about like the personal relationship and like just having fun rather than any kind of specific shilling. But nevertheless, like I will say, Flash is being put on the radar on a lot of people's. It's being put on a lot of people's radar, and that can only bode well for the future. The more noise that we make as a team, and obviously the more noise that the community makes, because they've already been primed by all our kind of in real life activation efforts. It'll only make it so that our impact is even higher in the future. And we'll continue to do this. I'm currently in ETH Denver, so we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking to some ETH people, some Berachain people, all sorts of people from all sorts of different chains, and just kind of tell them like, hey, like look what's happening over here on Solana, and specifically look what is happening here on Flash. And yeah, maybe have them try it out, notice the experience, and really, our main goal is to make Flash feel like a centralized exchange. And I think every day we're kind of just making one step closer and closer to getting to that. And yeah, we're very, very excited. I see in the chat here, 2025 Flash Super Bowl ad. Maybe, things are heating up very fast all over the place in crypto, and we believe we've primed ourselves. We've always built with scalability in mind. We've always built with making sure that our pools are safe and robust, and yeah, we're ready. We're doing everything we can to onboard new users, to help people understand, and yeah, we really believe that this is going to be the way. And while yesterday I think we had some pretty ridiculous volumes, that's just the beginning. We can handle a lot more, and we're excited to handle a lot more. Finally, I want to go over some things to come. I know we've been saying the boost feature for multiple beast holders, but this time it's for real. We got a little bit. There were other things in the trading experience that kind of held a bit more priority, especially when it came to like stop loss and take profit, liquidation, all these kind of things. So we put a lot of our developer resources towards those things to make sure that the trading experience was absolutely top notch. Because without our traders, Flash is nothing. Without our users, we're not an exchange. And so I know our beast holders, especially the chat beast with over 30 beasts in their wallet, they've been waiting for this to level up their beasts even faster. And yeah, we'll definitely be working on that pretty soon. Secondly, we're going to keep improving in establishing our risk frameworks and tooling. So internally, we're creating some dashboards to be able to monitor all positions on the exchange. We are making sure that we have a systematic way of evaluating any new asset and determining its quality when it comes to its feasibility to list and then feasibility to be added to a pool of flashes, whether that be pool 2, pool 3, or pool 1. So it's very important to have these frameworks rather than just kind of doing it, just winging it every time. This kind of will allow us to make sure that we're moving in a methodical and systematic fashion with every decision that Flash Trade makes in the future. We're looking at improving chart functionality. That seeing people use Flash seeing brand new people use Flash in front of my eyes, have kind of pointed me towards like, oh, they're looking for this functionality, and right now it's just not there. Well, that's not true. It's not there, but it's not in the place that they expect it to be. And we want to make Flash feel seamless. So we want things to be where people expect them to be, whether that be from their previous trading experiences, or even if it's an improvement, which we believe we have some things that like kind of have never been seen before on Flash's UI, even currently. So yeah, we're always going to be looking to improve, and obviously trading involves charts, or people love trading with charts, and so the chart is going to be a main focus for sure. Number 4 here is equities trading. And I'm sure people that have been here since the DevNet knew that we had Coinbase listed on DevNet, and while that was the case on DevNet, and the price feed for Coinbase on mainnet, didn't kind of meet the quality that we wanted. We now believe like, okay, it's getting to the point where it becomes feasible, but with equities trading comes a lot of different more thinking about risk. Equities will have things like earning seasons, which mean that a price can fly 20% in a single day, where the previous days it was maybe moving like up to 5% maximum. This requires a different approach to risk analysis and leverage limits, as well as like what is the acceptable for traders. And yeah, we're working on that. We have a pretty good idea, and as soon as we're ready, we'll be doing internal testing, and then after internal testing is going well, we'll announce it, and then pretty soon you'll be able to trade some of your favorite equities on Flash. And yeah, we're very excited for that. It's really cool to kind of see Anatoly's vision from the very beginning become a reality. We are bringing the world of finance on chain, on Solana. All the assets that you could ever want to trade will be tradable on Solana, and it's really awesome to be working for a team that is pushing that forward and making sure that vision becomes a reality. Lastly, yield-bearing tokens in the liquidity pools. This is something that we've kind of thought about for a while, but at the end of the day, it's basically about trying to give LPs the most flexibility, and also give it the ability to kind of stack their yields. We're talking to a lot of different teams about this, making sure that anything that is added to our LPs is properly safe and will work well. And so we're not going to be just adding any random yield-bearing thing because, oh yeah, it's more efficient for LPs. No, again, at Flash, we're a conservative team. Every decision we make is very well thought out, is internally tested thoroughly, and then finally we'll offer it to in the production level of the exchange, where the users themselves can experience it. So these are some of the things we're working on. Maybe Zohab, you want to add on some things that I may have missed? I know you guys are always cooking things up on the technical side.
A couple things there. The intent-based swap.
Yes.
Which can expand the scope of our pool to serve zero slippage swaps beyond the context of just Flash trade. That's one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and I think intent-based swaps are
quality of service. Yeah. Intent-based swap, basically guaranteeing a given for swaps to be executed. And right now, what happens is you have a latency where you sign a transaction wallet, and the time required for the transaction to land on chain. This amount of latency, which we can never overcome, right? The 4 to 8 slots which require, or which is there within the RP and the way the banking stage works and transaction forwarding. There is an inherent which we need to kind of overcome through different means, and one of those is intent-based swaps, where you give price, and the pool, instead of its own price at the time of, it takes your price and you're fine to execute within the given bounds. If
I think Zohab is a little bit cutting off here.
Intent-based swaps. I'm missing out the name, but then there are a few on the EVM side as well. Or in a way, the taker orders on CowSwap work in a way which the maker kind of comes in and is able to kind of offer a trade which is similar to an OTC kind of an execution. So scaling those but while maintaining composability and backwards compatibility we're working on, and then anticipative execution and obviously liquidations as well. These are the things which are being worked on a technical spectrum, which will improve the performance and the user experience by orders of magnitude.
Yeah. Zohib was cutting off a little bit there, but TLDR was basically intent-based swaps. So this will kind of open up the pools finally to the whole swap economy that happens on Solana, which is quite big, especially on longer tail assets. And even things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Like right now, Flash, I believe, is one of the better sources of liquidity for those two assets. And yeah, we're really excited for that. And then last things that he was saying as he was cutting off was, Zohib on his way in a car. I was experiencing that yesterday. But last thing he was mentioning there was, improving the liquidation bots and the scaling of it by having a lot more of like preemptive of sending of transactions, and then what that kind of will allow will make sure that as soon as the pip price, either the mainnet or from our backup oracle, reads as makes a position liquidatable, it happens within 1 or 2 blocks at most, and that keeps LP safe. That keeps utilizations appropriate during those very volatile moments, and it will allow for further scaling as well. So yeah, we're very excited. A lot to work on, a lot more things to kind of keep improving on, and we love all the feedback that our beasts give us. It's really cool. When I looked at the numbers while making this and saw that over 1,000 beasts had leveled up, couldn't be happier about that. I myself, I think it's one of the coolest things that is happening in the NFT/DeFi space right now. It's just bringing those two communities together and using these NFTs and giving them so much utility. Maybe it's time to ask for some questions. So if you have some questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll answer them. I know it's thanks for everyone for coming out. By the way, I know it's a bull market, and so your attention is split in 15 different ways at least, and so yeah, it's really cool to have you guys here. Yeah, so maybe some light on the boosting feature. So right now you have your primary beast NFT, and it levels up accordingly. However, the boost feature will allow such that if you have like more beasts in your wallet, you can use those beasts to help the other one. And let's say you have 5 level 1s, that'll give you some amount of experience VP multiplier whenever you're doing actions on Flash. However, as you can probably guess, if you use like 5 level 3s or 5 level 4s to boost a beast, the multiplier is going to increase. So again, like if you have multiple beasts, especially if they're all higher levels, you can make one beast level up very fast. And yeah, that's kind of how the boost feature will work. And I think it's been a long time coming, but yeah, we're very excited for people to kind of keep participating in the gamification that we've created around the whole around how Flash is built. I see more typing happening. Tom and the Tune, will boost apply to LP and referral voltage points? Yes, they will. All actions that gain UVP, boost will apply to them. We really like to incentivize actions that make Flash better. So whatever brings more volume, whatever brings more users, all those things are going to be incentivized to the fullest. I see the question, why not bonk? I will say we are considering it, and that is what that's all I can basically say for it this time. We are considering it quite seriously. Obviously, like I think everyone kind of has even a small bag of bonk, and so it kind of makes sense as if you're building pools to have a pool that would include things like that. Bonk and whiff would be a wild pool, but I guess let's see how we trade these things that only move like 15% in a day instead of 30 or 40% in a day. There's only so much volatility analysis we can do beforehand before we get real trading data. And based on real trading data, we're going to be able to see, okay, if we know how pool one responds with these kind of volatile tokens and pool three responds with more volatile tokens, we can kind of begin to model how real trading would work on even more volatile tokens than that. So it's all a process. We'll keep expanding along the risk curve, and yeah, so it's pretty exciting to kind of create these things on my end, and awesome to work with Zoheb. Awesome to work with Zoheb and making it all happen, and making it all happen on chain, decentralized, non-custodial, on Solana, right? Like we don't have our custom layer one chain of which we are the only validators. Like we are doing this all on chain on Solana. We simply set out the rule sets and the smart contracts, and then you guys use them. And I cannot speak to enough as to how different that is from a centralized experience where you are at the mercy of a third party fulfilling their promises to you, or custom L1 where you are at the mercy of validators kind of doing their job correctly and keeping online even during times of high stress. It's so cool to build a product like this on Solana and have it happen all in decentralized, non-custodial. So you guys always have access to your trades, to all your collateral, to the P&L that you've earned or lost on your trades, and on the LP side as well. Like anytime you want to leave, although I'm not sure why you would. The yields have been pretty juicy lately, and exposure to and the amount of volatility that a LP experiences is pretty low relative to its returns. So I'll do a Sharpe ratio analysis of one of these points, and I'm sure it'll be something pretty ridiculous. Knowles here has a good question based on referrals, and that'll be like, will they remain linked to the particular beast number? And yes, that is true. Like referrals will be linked to that particular beast number always. And what's more, as long as that beast does not made a primary beast on a different wallet, the wallet that last made it its primary beast will receive all its referral flows. I believe the referral VPs, however, will go to the new beast when claimed. I'll confirm with Zoheb on this because it's an interesting edge case you're bringing up here. But nevertheless, like VPs are going to be earned either on your new primary beast or on your old primary beast. Perhaps one way to work around this is just use two different wallets, and that way you can kind of keep these two isolated. Where on wallet one, if that's your referral wallet, you keep your beast there. It gets all your referral flows, and obviously you claim and that'll make sure that your primary beast is on that wallet, and then your second wallet can be used for trading and LP rewards, and that should give you the functionality that it seems you're looking for here. Okay, Tom and the Tune has already tried this out, and yeah, VPs still go to the beast even if you set a new one. So there you go. No, don't even need two wallets apparently. Cool. Maybe let's do one more question or one more piece of feedback. Again, want to thank everyone for coming out. I know attention in a bull market is highly valuable, and I don't know how everyone's exposures are, but I hope you've enjoyed the recent upturn in all markets. It's certainly, I know a lot of you were here during the darker times and yeah, this kind of the good times. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it on our end. Again, Pool 3 just launched. You're going to be able to deposit, and you're also going to be able to trade Jupiter, Pith, Jito on leverage, and it's so cool to kind of have this out. Yeah, couldn't be happier to be on Sol as well. It's such a great community. Technologically, it's it's bleeding edge, and yeah, we'll continue to live in this ecosystem and become a bigger part of it, but also kind of do what we can to help any the whole ecosystem evolve. I see one more person is typing, so we'll allow him to finish. Or you guys can just start spamming stickers. All right, he's just saying happy to be here. We are also quite happy to be here. We'll continue making our efforts. The team's working. The team is working quite hard, and we're not planning on stopping anytime soon. There is a deposit cap in Pool 3. I believe we are. It's either 1 or 1.25 million, if I do not recall what we finalized on. So get in there, and yeah, see, it should be some pretty a lot of trades going to be being made in that pool, I suspect, especially as people find out that this kind of leverage is available, and again, no slippage. Yeah, Rock should letting us know we're already at 500K. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Again, thanks for coming out. Try out Pool 3. As always, open to all feedback. Keep opening tickets if you ever run into any issues, and we'll address them as fast as we can. I think Anas and Zoheb now are at the DeFi party, at DeFi night in the Founders Villa. I'm over here at ETH Denver. Spreading the word. Yeah, thanks.